Please join me in the flag salute.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, looks like all members of the council are accounted for and present, except for Councilor Bauer, and hopefully he'll join us in a little bit. Are there any announcements to the agenda? Any additions? Any declaration of ex-party contact, conflict of interest, bias, etc.? That leads us to the consent agenda. What would council like to do with the April 7th City Council work session minutes, the April 7th City Council regular session minutes, April 21st City Council work session minutes, resolution number 25013, and resolution number 25014.
Mr. Mayor,
Council Ort?
I move that we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Been moved in second to approve the consent agenda as submitted. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries 4-0. Any presentations, Julia? Doesn't look like it.
Not this evening.
Not tonight. Any public comment? Not tonight. That leads us to general ordinance. General business, ordinance number 25-002. Revisions to the Stayton Municipal Code 5.25 and 8.04.090. Removing permits for sidewalk vendors and cafe. Jennifer?
Oh, this looks like a really fast meeting today. Okay, oops. I am Jennifer Siciliano, the Community and Economic Development Director. At our, I believe it was a work session in March, we reviewed the sidewalk vendor cafe vendor and fees, and there was an idea to eliminate the permits and the fees that are required, but maintain the standards that we have for the different cafe and vendors. So there was some public input that said that they were prohibitive from doing business on the sidewalk. So I had looked through the ordinance that you currently have, and I went through and did changes to just take out the permit issuance, the permits, and the application for permits, and also additionally changed the obstruction to sidewalks, section 8.04.90. That is about getting a right-of-way permit, so that, except where specifically provided in the section, that it would also include the exemption would be for conducting businesses in a street right away. These regulations would still be enforced by the code enforcer, so if anyone had made a complaint. So that's it.
Mayor, quickly, I don't think your microphone is on.
I'm going to repeat myself. Now's an opportunity for public comment on this topic, so Carrie, come on up.
Carrie Sessoms, 1501 East Burnett, Covered Bridge Cafe, 510 North 3rd. So I just wanted to give you all a little input about sidewalk permits. I'm totally okay paying for a sidewalk permit to allow outside dining at our business. I think the only thing that I would hope that maybe the city would do different is by usage and not just a blanket amount by square footage. I think when they came out and measured, all the tables were out. I took, Jennifer? I did fill out the permit after I received the notice, and gave a copy of course, our insurance umbrella and the 2 maps. I wrote 2 maps, so May through October, there are 9 tables on the sidewalk. And then October-ish, that's kind of weather permitting. I mean, if it's whatever, I'll pay through October. And then, so November through April-ish, May, there's only 2 tables and chairs there, and it's honestly, we don't service the sidewalk during those months. It's really for people waiting to get into the restaurant. The sidewalk can get very clogged this time of year at the restaurant when there's outside dining and people waiting for tables, but generally we don't have as many people waiting because we've added 9 more tables, like 60 more seats, and they are full. I can say we did about $187,000 in business on outdoor dining last year, so it's a huge benefit to our business, and I think aesthetically it looks nice. I mean, I might be a little partial, but I think it looks very nice. And we do stick to the guidelines as far as the right-of-way of the sidewalk. I'm really strict about outdoor dining. I don't allow customers to merge tables and change things around. So I don't have a problem paying for the usage whatsoever. I just feel like it needs to be measured by usage and not just a flat thing. I know I just told you how much money we sold. Let's get that right. We sold. Because if it was Meg, I wouldn't be here. So I just wanted to give my input while you guys were deciding all of that. I 100% support the city in whatever you guys do, and I'll play along just fine.
Cool. Thanks, Carrie. All right. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I really appreciate the fact that you brought the usage part of it to the table, because that makes a lot of sense, especially the seasonal part of it.
Okay. Anything else, Jennifer?
No, I just want to say that we did go through the process. It was $2.50 per square foot, and then we did staff proposed $100 for initial fee and then $20 for annual fee, and then it was discussed at the work session to not have a permit and just have it in code enforced.
Thank you. All right, council. Council discussion. Councilor.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Sims.
No, I took a quick look through the code changes. I mean, I am a proponent of the lack of the application fee and no charge per square footage. So I'm perfectly fine the way the changes that we made.
Yep. Thank you. Anybody else? I think what Carrie described was how this could be regulated or policed by itself. She told you all about how she doesn't allow people to pull the tables together. She tries to limit the number of people on the sidewalk. So in my mind, this is not needed. So thank you for doing the adaptation, but I would support as well not charging the fee. So that's just my 2 cents.
Mr. Mayor? And they're also only out there just for your open hours, correct? Because you put them away at night. Yep.
I'm sorry, I should have added that. We do pull all of it back inside.
So there's no hindrance there for...
The extra hour table in the day.
Okay. With that, council decision. What would council like to do on 25-002 and 8-04-09?
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
this is Councilor Patty. I motion to approve ordinance number 25-002 as presented.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Motion and a second to approve ordinance number 25-002, revisions to State Municipal Code 5.25 and 8.04.090, removing permits for sidewalk vendors and cafes. Any further discussion? Lisa, can you poll the council, please?
Yes. Counselor Sims?
Yes.
Counselor Carey?
Yes.
Counselor Patty?
Yes.
Counselor Ort?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. That moves on to ordinance number 25-003, amending Stayton Municipal Code, Chapter 2.28, regarding the Parks and Recreation Board. Julia?
Yes, this might be a record council meeting to adopt 2 ordinances in maybe no time. We'll see how much you talk about this. What is before the council is an ordinance that's amending the municipal code to clarify the responsibilities for the Parks Board, specifically to add the pool under their purview. This was brought forward by, I believe, Councilor Ort a while ago. We discussed it with the Parks Board. In the changes there, when I looked at the code and saw what the Parks Board purpose was, there was a lot of stuff that was in there that was a little out of date and needed to be updated anyways, and so we discussed it at the Parks Board. They supported this proposal, and so what is before you essentially will amend the code and make it clear that the pool is under their purview for discussion purposes and give them a voice, give the pool patrons a voice at a board for if they have issues, questions, concerns, ideas, that kind of thing. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there any public comment? Doesn't look. Lou has one. Come on up, sir.
Maybe dumb question. Okay. Okay, so if you do that, are you putting the pool and the parks together, and will that affect levy? When anything is proposed, since that one has not been done yet. We've only got the library on the ballot now.
I forgot to ask you for your name for the record.
Sorry. Leonard Hayes.
Thank you.
And just procedurally, I will answer questions from the council. So it doesn't necessarily mean that they're automatically together. It just means that the Parks Board has a voice and a recommendation on what happens at parks as well as what happens at the pool. So it doesn't require anything. It certainly makes sense, but it already is. There is already a parks and pool levy called the recreation levy, but it could potentially be separated as well.
That answered it. Thank you.
Thank you. Council? Any questions? Discussion? Go ahead, Councilor Sims.
Well, I have a pretty vested interest in the Parks Board, so I took a pretty good read on this, and I think Julia did a good job. Because it removed there was a secretary in here, which we didn't have a secretary taking notes and transcribing it, so that's good that was removed. And there was for the responsibilities, there's a financial budget responsibilities in there, and that's gone. And I'm really happy to see the pool has a voice now. I think that'd be really good for the pool, especially with the levy coming up, that they have a voice with the board. So I really like that. So I thought the code changes were great. So.
Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Ort?
Thank you for doing this. I'm really, like Councilor Sims, I'm really excited to see the opportunity for people to voice their opinions and concerns, ideas for the pool, and have an opportunity to come towards the council in the form of this board. And not just that, but have like a place where they're actively thinking about the pool and continuing to make this a better place for the community, just like they do the parks. So thank you for that.
Sounds like that's all discussion. Time for decision. Council?
Mr. Mayor?
Councilor Ort?
Where are we? I would like to approve the proposed ordinance. Wait, hold on. I'd like to motion to approve ordinance number 25-003, amending Chapter 2.28 of the Stayton Municipal Code to expand the responsibilities of the Parks and Recreation Board and bring the Stayton Family Memorial Pool under its purview.
Seconded.
I don't know who did that, but that's fine.
Councilor Patty seconded.
Motion and a second to approve ordinance number 25-003, amending Stayton Municipal Code, Chapter 2.28, regarding the Parks and Recreation Board. Any further discussion? Alyssa, will you pull the
Yes.
Counsel?
Counselor Ort?
Yes.
Counselor Patty?
Yes.
Counselor Carey?
Yes.
Counselor Sims?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Thank you. That's the end of the agenda items. Is there any communication from city staff? Julia?
I do have one thing, and I'm a little embarrassed because I was talking with Counselor Patty and Len, and I said I was going to be sending out an email, and I realized that I actually had printed it out to hand out tonight. So I'm going to be handing out a memo that I've prepared that's called the Transportation Maintenance Fee Recap. We're not going to talk about it necessarily, but I want to provide it to you, and then we can talk about it at a future meeting. But essentially, it's providing you background information. I went back in the archives and back in history, created a timeline of how decisions were made, the basis of the transportation maintenance fee, some issues and considerations, and then a little bit more, which is part of what's lost, is a little bit more detail of the ITE table that went into the fee itself. So I'm going to hand this out. You can read it. I hesitated to do this because I know you've got a lot of reading to do, but I want to get it out for you guys as well as the public to see. So,
Julie, will that be posted on the city website somewhere? Or?
yes, it certainly can be.
Okay.
And then I have a copy for you as well if you want to get it when you get a chance.
Anything else, Julia?
That's all I've got, unless you have questions for me.
Anybody have any questions for Julia? Okay, that leaves the opportunity for communication from mayor and council, and I don't have anything tonight, so does council have anything they'd like to highlight?
Mayor,
Councilor Carey.
I met with a resident last week who lives on East Santiam. And just as you come out of the S curves there from Washington, and instead of going up the hill to the hospital, you continue out towards the highway. He was asking if we could possibly look into moving the 40-mile-an-hour past the Wolf Ridge Apartments for the safety of the children getting on and off the bus, and for the kids playing there at Wolf Ridge, because they go from 25 right to 40, and we could just see about possibly moving that a little farther east up the highway.
Okay, I think staff will take a look at that.
Yep, definitely.
That reminds me, Councilor Carey, I also had a couple inquiries from several different people about the speed limit on Washington in front of the cannery that starts at First Ave. That's 25 until a certain point at the cannery, like right in front of A&W or something, turns to 35. And I've had like 3 different people ask me why it's that way and why it's being enforced. I'll leave it at that. So we can check and see why that's there historically. And
Real quick, Mr. Mayor,
go ahead.
just to piggyback that, I've actually heard something about that as well, that there used to be some speed limit sign, there was better signage at some point for speed limits there, and just through that whole area.
On Washington?
Yeah, going through there. And I was just, echoing the mayor's concerns, and it's something I've been meaning to talk to you guys about, but I have not.
And that was the same complaint that I received, that the signage is off and it seems to be an issue.
So just to clarify, so that people are saying there isn't enough signage, or it seems like it's in the wrong spot, or they're questioning why it's there?
No, what I was saying is there used to be signage that's no longer there that was better to advertise what the speed limit was in the locations, and it's now not there anymore. And so I was wondering if we can, I don't know, if it was
We'll look into
relocated.
that.
Yeah.
Councilor Sims.
Mr. Mayor, I do have one shout out to the police department. I had one of my wife's close friends, wanted to give them a thank you, very strong thank you for, there was a relative that was arrested. I won't say the name, but they, instead of towing the vehicle and the contents of the vehicle, the police department contacted the family and allowed them to come get the vehicle instead of having it impounded. So she was very happy about that, so a lot of appreciation there, so thank you for doing that.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilor Ort.
I think it was like last week was like volunteer appreciation. And so I just wanted, was it last week or the week before? A couple weeks ago. But
Recently.
we weren't recently. And so I just wanted to say thank you to my fellow city councilors for volunteering your time and all of your efforts to our wonderful city. I appreciate you guys. And all of our board and commission members as well.
Mr. Mayor, sorry, I just remembered when Councilor Sims was thanking law enforcement that I failed a huge announcement. And just as a reminder that our Chief Johns is getting a recognition on Friday from the FBI as law. It's a law enforcement leadership award, and so very proud of her. She's not here tonight because she's actually down in California helping her son move back from college, and she's going to fly home for that. So very proud of her. And then just a tease, I won't share the news, but we also have learned very recently that we won some other awards in another department that will be announced next week, and I'll share more about that.
Okay. Anybody else? I'm sure there's something I'm missing, but that's it. We'll call it a night. Meeting adjourned.